I think previously I said that the material on this new record would be darker, but that things change over time, and there's still a couple of songs that have a dark element to it, but I kind of just went to a few different places on this record and tried things out, and I feel like there's a few different genres in the mix there. A little bit of a soul element, there's some there's a little bit of a dancey element, like there's a few synth keyboards in there and stuff, like very subtle things that you wouldn't pin down to those genres specifically, but they are in there. I didn't work with any co-writers on this record, so it was a very solitary experience, but I think it was an important one. It was I felt like it helped me improve as a writer, and I think it was important. It's hard to like pinpoint what you've learned from people like Rick Rubin, Chad Smith, and Mike D, but one thing that I do know is that when you go away from working with those people and you go work somewhere else, that you're inspired by those, and what you've seen and by playing with those guys. And I think when I left here working with Mike, I went back to Nottingham, my hometown, and ended up writing two songs in quick succession, and I think that was just down to hanging out with him. We were just like sat down with a guy, and he showed us a few designs and a few different artists and stuff like that, and the image that we saw kind of like stuck out to me and my team, and and I think if we all thought the same thing, then it must be pretty good. And then we went and met the artist, and he was a really nice guy, and we just liked what he did. It's something different and something cool, we thought. I think it's a big part of music nowadays. I actually think sometimes that music's in the background a lot of the time, and the fashion's in the front, and and I think it applies, especially when you look at the music in the charts today. So it's helpful to be part of that world, and get nice clothes. The two songs I put out on my one and Give Me the Love, they are very different, but they don't really reflect anything off the record, because every song's kind of different within itself. So like I don't think if you pulled any song out individually it would reflect what the album is. I don't think. Well, that was a rough number. I wasn't going to go back and with that line. Well, I think some of the shows, I remember a while ago we played a show like in Belgium, in Ghent, and that was pretty crazy. It was like a 50 capacity CAF or something, but like 500 people showed up, and it was just like it was a really hot gig. The windows were steaming up, and it's just it's just one of the coolest gigs I've done, I think. I've been listening to quite a bit of soul, a band called War. There's a cool guy who had an album called William Devon. That's a cool record. And I've been listening to a lot of Bill Withers, whose drummer played on some of my record as well, James Gadsden, which was pretty sweet. So just kind of a lot of music in that area, really. I wouldn't put it anything contemporary. It'd be probably people like Nick Drake, John Martin, people like that. Just good old songs. They've got great songs.